up, everybody? It's going to be a short one today, but welcome to another edition of Stefan Reads Line News. I am the titular Stefan, and I like to read Line News. Line is, of course, the biggest messaging app in Japan, and it has its own little Line News tab that aggregates news from various sources, and the algorithm spits them back out at me, and I read what it gives me every single day on this here little YouTube segment thing. If this is your first time listening, like, subscribe, all of that jazz. You can find us on Twitter at small_in_Japan. Find me on Twitter at Stefan_Tetsu. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/smallinjapan, but that is under construction still. Anyways, let's get on with it. Today is September 16th, 2022. It's a Friday. I am in my underwear. And let's get to it. Today's going to be a shorter episode, like I mentioned, because half of the screen for Line News is taken up by an ad for an Amazon Prime show. I'm not sure if this is on in America or elsewhere, aside from Japan as well. But it's an Amazon Prime TV show called More Than Words. I've never heard of it before. I'm not sure if this is like a Japan exclusive or if it's international, but for some reason it is being pushed hard by Amazon in Japan, and thus I'm only gonna have half of the fluff stories to work with, which, considering how things have gone over the last couple days, might be a good thing. So let's look at the fluff. If you remember, Line News likes to bury the actual news headlines, normally in between two rows of random fluff stories that have absolutely no bearing on the world whatsoever. But and the actual news headlines are just little short. There's literally just text kind of hidden between those two rows. But today we only have one row of fluff. Let's get to story number one of our fluff. And it is Razor Ramon, RG-san. You know, for some reason HG-san was like really got semi-popular a couple of years ago in like outside of Japan for Hard Gay, which is a character that he was doing as a solo comedian. But anyways, his Aikata Razor Ramon RG, also popular on his own right. Talks about this is literally just like a summary of a Amaba TV show this time. But anyways, he talks about his sneaker collection on this Amaba TV show, and it says that he has a collection that's worth 800,000. Ah, jeez, I hate having to convert Japanese numbers. Let me type this out so I can figure it out. 3, carry the 1, 8, okay, 8 million yen. He has 8 million yen worth, 8 million yen collection of sneakers. 8 million yen would be like, take away the 2 zeros, it'd be like a $10,000 yen collection, or $10,000 sneaker collection, I should say. Which is, I don't know if that's, sneakers can get pretty expensive. I'm not a sneakerhead, so I have no idea how expensive, but it doesn't seem too out of hand. I'm sure some people have like way more expensive sneakers than RG. Anyways, he talks about how he has over 400 pairs of sneakers, and Adidas once listened to his opinion and altered his shoe thanks to him. I guess that's cool, good for him, I guess. He's talked about sneakers on Amitak before and all that sort of stuff. So this is like a fluff piece, but it's like just a summary of a TV show that aired a couple days ago, and it's not even like promoting anything in the same way that one of these normal fluff pieces does. But good for RG for his super expensive shoe collection, and hopefully you can keep being successful and adding to it. So it'll be like a 10 million yen collection, but you never know. Alrighty. Wait, did I forget a zero? I did forget a zero, didn't I? Anyways, let's move on to story number 2. Story number 2 is actually not a fluff story. So 'cause yesterday, the algorithm gave me a giant fluff piece, like a listicle of quote unquote the best singers in Nogizaka 46 history, which we've already covered its uselessness and pointlessness yesterday. By the way, thank you guys for all your feedback on how dumb that list was and how unserious it was, I guess. But today, for some reason, we get a long, in-depth article. No, seriously. I'm going to put a video of the of how long it takes to scroll through it. This long article, in-depth, about Vladimir Putin and his relationship with China's President Xi. And, yeah, I'm not sure why this got stuck in the fluff section. But it's a very, very long, in-depth article because I'm not sure how the algorithm is working. If this is, I mean, if you want to give me long, in-depth news articles, I'm not sure why the last month you've been giving me nothing but weird fluff about models taking Instagram pictures. But anyways, that's a long article about Vladimir Putin. We aren't that sort of podcast, so if you want to learn about the crisis in Ukraine and the Moscow government intrigue, there are literally hundreds of thousands of other options than this podcast about Japanese news via a messaging app. Go to those and listen to that. I'm not a Russian government expert. So yeah, but anyways, I just thought it was interesting how long this article was. Anyways, after that, you have that aforementioned ad for the Amazon Prime TV show, and then we have the actual news. So story number one, and it says this is breaking news. I'm not sure how breaking when this gets released, but Japan is gonna have to pay the country of Cameroon 1.65 million yen for so that's like $20,000, which seems kind of cheap. Or is it not 20,000? Whatever. It's not as much as you think it is. But they have to pay that money to Cameroon as part of a settlement for a 8-year-old case of though this happened in Ibaraki, my former home area of Japan. But anyways, there's a foreigner detention center is the best way I can put it. So this is where all the foreigners go when they overstay their visa, or they enter Narita with some weed in their pocket. This is kind of the area that happens in. Anyways, back in 2014, a Cameroonian got detained at Narita Airport, and got sent to this immigration detention center, which is really more like an immigration concentration camp, really. And he died. And Cameroon asked Japan for 10 million yen, which seems a little cheap by my estimation. But, I'm not going to each the country their own. I think, in this case, I think they're mainly asking for sympathy money after this horrible situation. But the Japanese court decided not to give him that much and settled for $16,000 or so, which not that much money, I guess. But yeah, this is always kind of been a big deal. Japan's detention centers have been historically very not great, kind of hush-hush on the, Japan doesn't really publicize the fact that its long history of abusing people in these detention centers. Last year or a couple of years ago, the detention center in Nagoya killed a Sri Lankan, and that's kind of been in the news. But aside from that, Japan's generally pretty keeps its abusive immigration detention centers kind of on the DL. Got to keep up with that the image of omotenashi. In some cases, though, the omotenashi is a horrible death from neglect. Moving on, story number 2 is a story about how it's a paragraph. It's a paragraph about Japan's national diet setting in the date for its next session in March. So congratulations to them. Now story number 3. We've covered this for the last couple days, but Typhoon number 14, which is looking like it's going to be huge and strong, just like me, is rapidly approaching the entire country of Japan. The entire country of Japan looks like it's going to get hit by this thing. It's going to literally go up through the middle of Japan all the way up. Like it's going to it's even the curves like Japan curves. And it's going to be hitting over the next couple days, starting with Kyushu and heading its way up north. And of course, in true Japan fashion, they have a little graphic of what to do when the typhoon comes. Looking like it's going to be, it's hitting Kyushu on the 18th, but the rain's going to start coming into Japan tomorrow. And it's going to keep affecting the country over the coming weeks. Or over the coming week, the coming days, I should say. So if you're in Japan, they're saying that they want you to avoid unnecessary trips outside, which is generally a good idea whenever there's a storm. But some people need that reminder. Please don't go out drinking. I know it's Friday today. I know you want to party like it's your birthday on a Friday. Stay out till the morning. But please do not, is what they're saying. So, Typhoon coming again. We'll see how strong this one is. Japan generally seems to overestimate how impactful typhoons are, which is probably a smart idea. You don't want to underestimate how bad a natural disaster is going to be, for obvious reasons. So hopefully this turns out to be an overestimation of this typhoon's wrath. Anyways, that's all for today. Thank you guys so much for listening. Yeah, not exactly a big, not exactly an impactful day of news, but that's what you get sometimes with Line News. So anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. Remember, like, subscribe. Until next time, I am Stefan. Take care, stay safe. See you next time.